Łukasz Przybyszewski, founder, Abhaseed Foundation Fund. Good morning, sir. Great having you on.
Good morning. Thank you.
So, before we discuss Lebanon and Israel, let me ask you about Israel itself, because we have tens of thousands of people demonstrating in Tel Aviv, demanding the return of hostages, very much anti-Benjamin Netanyahu. So do you think that this increased violent rhetoric is perhaps Mr. Netanyahu's answer to some of the problems, internal problems in the country? What is he trying to accomplish here?
Well, he definitely tries to strike some balance between the opposition and his faction. So what he wants to achieve is simply to have the opposition, to make the opposition take those protests, etc., under some form of tighter control. Yeah. So in order not to escalate the internal situation into, some more violent demonstrations, because that would be detrimental to Benjamin Netanyahu's position within the yes. So peaceful demonstrations, some arrests are okay, but while Netanyahu is addressing those issues, he knows simply that, and there are many issues now. So it's the list is far too long to just focus on that. He just wants those protests to stay relatively calm, yeah, because if he would be forced to use violence against those demonstrators, this could seriously damage his position in the country.
Right, I sort of meant violence in the region, because, you know, with threats towards Lebanon, towards Hezbollah, perhaps it's an attempt to divert attention. But in any case, I wanted to ask you about the U.S. support, perhaps the dwindling international support. We've just had Andrew Miller, Deputy Assistant Secretary for Israeli-Palestinian Affairs at the Department of State, resign. We had, of course, in Israel, Benny Gantz withdrew from the war cabinet. We also had this article in the New York Times yesterday just denouncing Mr. Smotrich and his rhetoric towards the West Bank, because he essentially has plans to quote him, the annexation is the word he used, right? So do you think that there's this visible shift in the loss of support for Israel?
The shift is, of course, visible. I mean, everyone sees that, and Netanyahu's faction and people who govern the country, that run the country now with him, see that too. But it's only a move, yeah? So it was a necessary move to make for Israel's partners and for some European countries too. But it doesn't mean that Israel does not enjoy the support, yeah. So those countries had to balance their position towards Israel. They had to make some changes. So, among others, someone had to resign, yeah. But at the same time, when you look at the battlefield, when you look at the decisions which are being made, while you look at the facts, nothing changes here, yeah. So it's more like a political cloth here. I would say that, a smoke screen, just to show that it's not that the West collectively supports war, supports such violence, but at the same time, the message in real terms goes, but there's nothing we can actually do about it, because this war, which Hamas has started now, and most likely this will also continue with Hezbollah soon, it's a zero-sum game. So political goals became military goals, and vice versa. There is no other option, and most likely any negotiations that would, push or pressures that could push Israel and the other parties into some form of ceasefire, they will just not fulfill themselves. Yeah.
Right, but okay, so let's turn towards Lebanon and Israel, towards this issue. Of course, the controlled exchange of fire has been going on for months now. So what factors are contributing to this potential escalation that we are seeing right now?
So basically, there are two factors. The first one is that Israel's operation in Gaza was, so to say, well, successful, if we can use this word. And the Israeli commanders know that the beginning of the end already started a while ago. So they will, with time, take control over Gaza. That's definite. And in this, simultaneously, while they were fighting in Gaza, they also were fighting, of course, Hezbollah in the north. And the Israeli defense forces were gathering intelligence about Hezbollah commanders. Yeah. So the longer this trench warfare in the north will last, the more likely it is that Hezbollah will start becoming more, so to say, desperate, yeah, because they're losing commanders, and they're actually not achieving anything aside of, just artillery fire, some position being held, and basically trench warfare, yeah. So those images which were shown by Hezbollah drones recently, well, that was somehow presented in a way that was to save Hezbollah face, yeah, that they do lose commanders, but they can hurt Israel deeply and hurtfully and strongly, yeah. But at the same time, we see that Israel has actually no other choice than to attack southern Lebanon, with probably some in just single targeting in Beirut. And we also see that the carpet was rolled out very slowly because, excuse me, at the same time, Israel had to bomb targets at the Syrian-Iraqi border, yeah, because there are transports coming from Iran and Iraq to Syria and from there to Lebanon. So they also have to attack those assets. So they have lots of targets on their screen, and that's very difficult to coordinate. So basically, the preparations for a war with Hezbollah are taking much more time than at any other time in the history of this conflict. Yeah. So most likely, what Israel will want to do is to actually go into southern Lebanon. That's absolutely certain. Yeah. But no one knows actually when it will happen. This will happen. There are some rumors that in 24 or 48 hours. We've heard those before. Some say that that August is a more probable period, yeah, because then it would be after Netanyahu visited the U.S. But frankly, we just cannot be sure when this will happen, and that's also the goal of the Israeli Defense Forces. They don't want the enemy to know when they will exactly attack, because they will prepare, they'll wait, and they'll launch an attack once it's the most beneficial situation for them in their calculations. Yeah, because there can be also miscalculations there too.
Right. I mean, this escalation was exactly what everyone was trying to avoid, right, from the very beginning. So the fact that it's taken this course is very worrisome. Łukasz Przybyszewski, thank you, sir, for being with us.